Honestly, Katerina, I'm so excited to talk to you about your art.
Thank you.
I really, yeah, like we don't really get to talk much about it, like we're friends, but
Hmm.
art is an extension of who you are.
Very much
So,
so.
yeah, and I really love it, and I'm really glad that we get to chat about it. So I prepared some questions. So I want to really know how you began your art journey. When did it start for you?
I
Was
would
that?
say it started when I was really young. Um, I've always been creative. I was always doing stuff with my art and coloring books and drawing stuff ever since I was a child. But my art didn't really start in earnest as my mode of self-expression until I was about 13, 12, and it started as therapy for me. I had a really abusive childhood in the sense of a very chaotic family and an older sister who had a lot of different traumas and stuff and was very reactive and explosive. And so I learned very young to keep my mouth shut and to bottle my emotions. And my art was a place of release for me so that I could share the things that were so weighing on my subconscious and inside of me, a place to just put that so that I wouldn't be carrying it around inside of my heart anymore.
Sure.
And yeah, so that was really where I got started, and I just never really stopped. I mean, there's been periods of time in my life where I've slowed down, but all in all, I feel like it's been like this constant with me throughout my life.
Yeah. And you have like, because your art often speaks of your own personal journey, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know like each painting has symbology for you. Like it's something you really thought about and it's something that is it something that you think about or do you have inspiration that comes from elsewhere or is it a bit of both or what? It depends.
It's a bit of both. I feel like the work that I do and the work that I have done has come just from like a place of meditation so that a picture will drop in, but then it's like I will meditate with that idea and then it'll evolve and change.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I feel like it is it's like a snapshot of where I'm at in my life or a snapshot of like my dreams or something that is really weighing on me. It's a way that I am able to work that out on the canvas or on the paper.
So I feel like it's has some inspiration from somewhere
Mm-hmm.
of an idea or an image or something like that, and then you start it, and generally it evolves and gives you more meaning as you go and tells more of a story as you go to yourself. And probably, I would imagine, like I know when I
Yes.
create, it's more like I get the messages for myself,
Mm-hmm.
um, and other people may see different things. But is that what it's like for you as well?
Yeah, it's always interesting for me to hear what other people see in the work that I do because all of my pieces, they're so deeply personal to me. And as
Mm-hmm.
much as I can try to explain to someone else like what's behind it, I find that people will still just find their own meaning and their own relevance in it, which to this day still astounds me because I don't really get what other people see, but I understand what my intention was in putting it.
Yeah, yeah. So people can reflect what they your painting reflects what they need to see within themselves or whatever message that they need for that point in their life. I
Yeah.
love how it's such an important thing, right? It's like it's yeah, it's such a beautiful gift to be able to have to provide something that people can use as that growth, personal growth or reflection or inspiration or
Mm-hmm.
so your painting there in the background, is it finished yet? Your Katarina painting?
It's not finished yet, but I've been working on the colors right now, so you can kind of see that there are um,
You can see
these.
it better before. The
Say what?
lighting. You can see it better before. Oh, you can see a little bit now of the purples and the blues coming through now.
Yeah.
Could be,
So
it
the
could
purples
be.
and the blues.
Yeah, it looks really cosmic.
That's the idea. That's the idea. I really love the cosmos. I feel I have a deep connection to nature, and I mean, especially living in Maui and in the places I've lived, like Costa Rica, I've just developed really strong connections to nature because I feel like
Mhm.
it's truth. You know, nature. There's no pretense. There's just nature. You know, and I just feel like it's starkly honest about what it is and in its beauty. Um, so I like to incorporate nature elements a lot into the work that I do.
Mhm. Is there a particular art piece that you want to talk about in detail to give us more information about the inspiration and the meaning and how you come up with your
Sure. I mean, the the piece that I'm currently doing limited editions for, that ecstasy piece, that's a favorite of
yeah.
people's when they see it, because I feel like it speaks to something really, just something really deep inside of humans. So I'm going to pull it up and put it up on the
Um, cool.
screen so people can see it. So I have the ability to do that. So screen sharing. Whoa. Here, let me get the. You see that?
Yeah, yeah,
So I actually just did a write up today about it, about what this painting, the intention behind this painting, and you know, really, I did this painting when I was super duper ill, and I had just this spark of an idea come to me that I saw a woman on my Facebook feed, and she was like flipping her hair back in the river. And all of a sudden, like, I was just like, yes, yes, that feeling right there is like what I want to feel in my life, just day to day, you know, just like that place of surrender, that place of just connection and release and just, you know, ecstasy, like the way that this painting is titled. And that that whole sense of inspiration and that sense of exaltation and connection and just total surrender was something that I was wanting to latch onto when I was going through just some tremendous pain. I used this painting as a piece to inspire me in moments where I was just feeling quite down, and I would look at it and it would lift my spirits in a way that reminded me to keep my eyes focused on, you know, my heart's desires, on my desires for wellness, my desires for healing, and, you know, the bright future that in my heart I knew was mine. And so it has always been a bit aspirational for me in that way. And that's also a way that, you know, my art has been very, very therapeutic for me. It's been a place for me to share my aspirations for life and my spiritual aspirations. And um, you know, I'm a very deeply spiritual person, and my art has been a way that I pray and that I reflect, and I'm able to commune with, you know, my idea of God.
yeah. I can see that in your paintings. Like there is sort of a spiritual connection as well as nature, like both really. Um, and a lot of people too. Do you feel that you are drawn to painting people a lot as well as nature? And
Yes, I really love painting people because I feel like more emotion is able to be conveyed. I mean, animals are cool, they're cute, and, you know, places and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It evokes a certain serenity, but I think when you're able to use the human face and the human form to express, um, we as humans can identify and connect with that so much deeper. And for me, all of the paintings and drawings I've done have incorporated people because I'm very interested in human psychology. I'm very interested in my own psychology, my own emotional space. And so being able to express through painting other people is a way that I can share my inner world externally.
Mhm. I think like some of your paintings are like you're saying it's people can it can be like a little revealing. You've got a little bit of like feminism or sexuality or something like that in your paintings, and maybe that's just what I'm seeing. Was that intentional for you, or was that just who you are? Or
Let's look at it so we can talk about it.
there's her website for anybody, katerinaroy.com. We will be providing a link when I do a write up. I'll do a write up on my website, and I'll include your link, Katerina, so people can see this themselves. Yeah, see, I feel like there's this real feminine kind of sexual energy in your paintings. Well, I'm
And
feeling
there is. And it's funny because as the artist, I just paint what comes to me. But I guess for me, the human female form has always been something that is just very close to me because my body has been the source of so much of my pain and discomfort in this life. And at the same time, it's also been this place where I'm able to express. So,
yeah,
you know, I've painted my way out of, my internal struggles with body image issues, and I've painted my way out of my own hatred of my body. And so I think by being able to portray that and to share that with the world, like it's been a way of me being like, I'm proud of my female form, and I don't need to feel ashamed of this body anymore. So
yeah.
yeah, it definitely has a feminist undercurrent, but I don't really identify as a feminist. It's been something that I guess the idea is inherently feministic, but
I guess really like who you are. I mean, you're female, like you said. Like
yeah, it's just
it's
it's a
our
way
body.
to yeah,
Yeah,
to just be like proud of who I am and to not feel ashamed of who I am, if that makes sense.
yeah, exactly. So I think like for many of my readers and for me too, I think one thing that artists and anybody that's entrepreneurs or anybody that's starting a blog or putting themselves out there, it can be really like it's really revealing of who you are. Like on my website, I really oh there I am. On my website, I really put myself out there. Like I feel like it's very revealing of who I am, and I've really had to come to a place um, of being confident in who I am and not sort of needing that acceptance and validation. I feel like artists have that they really like when they're expressing themselves in their art and they're creating art, um, it is very open to criticism.
Mm-hmm.
People not liking it, to people seeing things that weren't intentional because that's their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, how have you been able to work through that for yourself to get to a place where you can put your art on the internet and you can sell it and you can put yourself and your vulnerabilities out there?
I've realized that through sharing my vulnerability, I actually become very strong. And
Mm-hmm.
so from a very early on, I realized that no one can have anything over you if you share first. And if you stand and you are proud and you are okay with who you are, and that's why it's so important to do the work that you do, of clearing the beliefs and the underlying emotional energy that is stopping us from being able to be expressed. Because if we are continuing to be in that place of um, self-judgment or self-criticism, we're more prone to be getting those responses from other people. And I've found that as I've become more comfortable with myself, the amount of criticism I get is significantly less. But each time I would get criticism, I would take it within and, really evaluate the merit of it and
Yeah.
work through it individually, like one at a time. I feel like a lot of artists and creators tend to get overwhelmed by the potential for criticism that like they just don't even do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like this mental game that we get trapped in, and eventually, I've had to just push myself so many times to just put something out, like pieces of writing. There are so many times when I make a piece of writing and I'm just like, people are going to hate this, and I still do it anyway because it's a way for me to not live in the prison of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind is very prone to fear, very prone to worry. I mean, I'm not above that by any means. And I'm kind of counterphobic, so it's like if there's something I'm afraid of, I'm going to do it because I want to be able to be free.
To overcome it, to face your fears.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too, like you were saying, if the people can become so focused on the criticism, potential
Mm-hmm.
criticism, or what if people will think this, what if people will think that, and that is one of many things that stops people from doing the thing that they love to do or that they want to do, or the difference between having something as a hobby versus having something as something that can be their income, something that they can make money from. So I think, I have a real heart for that cohort of people that are really concerned about getting themselves out there because they're afraid and because of they're focusing on what potentially could happen, or that they just don't have a lot of worth. Mm-hmm. And that speaks very clearly about money. So I really wanted to talk to you about money as well, because I know that you do charge for your art, and I know that you have your business, and I know we've had conversations in the past about, and you've got your blog. You can plug your blog thing. What is it? Your Facebook group, the Power one. What is it called?
Oh, that one we are pausing it right now because Paul's been doing some other projects, and so that one's getting pushed out.
Great. Like watching some of his videos. So for those that are watching that didn't know much about that, Katerina and her partner Paul had been. Maybe we'll do it again. They had a Facebook group where they were sharing some of their journeys in. Was it called Sex, Money, and Power? Was that it?
Money, Power, Sex.
Money, Power, Sex. And it was really helpful for me to watch some of those conversations around worth and around money and around sexuality and all of those things. So we have a conversation around money, like how you view money and how it is that you can, what your journey has been with money. That would be helpful.
My money journey has been really interesting because I feel like from very early on, I knew that I was going to be somebody who like made my own way in the world. Like that was really like something deep in my heart. But I was faced with all of these external voices of, people telling me, oh no, you can't do it the way that you want to do it. You can't be an artist. You have to do other work. You have to have multiple skills. You have to burn yourself out basically. And, because of the illness that I've had for many years, I physically could not work another job. And so my art was the skill that I learned to develop. And it was the thing that I could do when I was like in severe amounts of pain. So I had that like get out of jail free card. So in many ways, I'm very grateful for the illness I've had because it's given me the ability to continue to stay true to myself and my desires. And it's been interesting for me as I've been letting go of the illness and moving more into health to realize that there's money stuff that's like still sticking. And so my current journey right now has been, launching these limited editions of that painting Ecstasy. And it's hilarious, like the voices that'll come up of like, oh, nobody's going to buy it, blah, 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 blah. And then things will come up and contradict me of, people being interested. And there's like this hot and cold contrast of like what my programmed, conditioned mind wants to perceive to be real and true versus like the reality of it, which is people love my stuff and people really like what I do. And, so there's this place where I have to be able to, really choose which reality I want to buy into. You've been having that reality choosing as well. Like, what am I going to invest in? What everyone else said or what I want to create? And, that's the constant choice that I get to make as an artist, because it's so easy to slip into the realm of fear and to feel like I'm just going to lose all my faith and just doubt it and, just shrivel up and die. That's the idea that these programs will give us if we continue to feed them.
So I know that you have a similar, like I have a daily routine. And I don't know how long I will need to do my daily routine. At the moment, it doesn't go for very long, but occasionally when other things come up, I may spend a bit longer. I know that you've got your own healing that you do on a regular basis as well, because it's like you kind of got to. I've shared a blog on my website about affirmations. I've drafted plenty more about manifesting and intention and all of that. So it is wherever. So I work with energy, that's what I do, and that we have that in common. What the energy of where you focus your energy is what you're going to grow. So I try to make sure that I put energy and focus onto positive things daily. Kind of condition myself, because I'm probably similar, that I have had, I think everybody has to some extent, past templates that have been cleared now, and I choose to focus on bringing more positive things in, which includes investing time into art, investing time into myself. And there's my son. So I better go grab him. Should we pause this, or?
I don't know if I can pause, but we can definitely take a little break.
Yeah. All right.
Put the thingy on my art so people can.
Okay.
Or looking or paused.
All right, I'll be back. I'll just get broken.
So for everybody watching, I'm just going to do a quick slideshow of some of the pieces that I have. This one is Aurora Borealis. Just a quick painting. This one is called Bald Peak Rising. Again, aspirational paintings, reaching for the sun.
We're back.
Just doing a slideshow.
Yeah, good idea.
I realize that the thumbnails are kind of tiny.
So hot in my house right now that the air conditioning is on downstairs, but upstairs where Bodhi was sleeping, it's really hot, and he's woken up all sweaty and water, where's my water? Yeah. You wouldn't have seen him much, huh? Except in photos.
I've seen just a little bit.
Say hi.
Hi, Bodhi.
I did expect him to sleep a little bit longer, but that's okay.
Oh, good. He's so happy to be hanging out with us girls.
Thank you. Hey. I'm just checking my questions to see you. Okay, well, we were talking about worth and energy and putting into ourselves, and putting the energy into what we create for that thing to grow and manifest. I just wondered if I think you probably already covered this, but do you have any advice for artists or entrepreneurs that are, at that stage where they do have some of those fears going on, and they're like, where do I start? How do I do this? Or they're just starting out, like me too.
I think that the more that you can really try to seek out supportive people, and it first starts with learning how to like do the self-support, like being able to shift your focus when the really nasty beliefs are starting to come up and cut you down. I mean, I personally, really rely on my connection to God to help get me through that stuff. But I've found that the more that I can be my own champion, the more that other people who are supportive can start coming into my world too.
Mm-hmm.
And so
he's saying no like, no like. He's like, where's my cartoons? Where's Daddy? Stop. Yeah, sorry. Stop. That is at work. Work. Yeah, work. He's so cute. Just learning to speak, right? So he almost repeats the last word that I say all the time. So like work or what else? Like the grocery list. I was going through the grocery list and he was repeating every word. It's so amazing how much they grow at this age. Oh yeah. Cool. Okay. So yeah, Daddy's at work. Did I cut you off, Katerina? Did you need to say anything else about advice?
I saw you're a really cute child, so I was like, not really. I can pick up anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I'll just check if there's anything else that I wanted to ask you. So I think we're getting close to it. I think we've already talked about your page, Katerina Roy. Is that the best way for people to get in touch or contact you or buy your art? Or is Facebook to you, or they're both the same?
My website has my Facebook stuff, so if people want to find me, it's easy to get in contact with me through there.
Yeah. And you offer some, as well as doing art, you also offer some mentoring as well, don't you? Or is
I talk with people, here and there. I'm not super structured about the way that I do it, mainly because I feel like the people that come to me are just so varied. And it's kind of hard to like just put together, a generic package or way of working with me. So, people contact me through Facebook if they want to talk with me. And I have a bit of a ministerial heart where I just really love helping people.
Yeah.
But unlike you, I'm not like super trained in it. It's just been something very intuitive, and I just have.
I think you are very natural at that. You've got a very big heart, and I think a lot of wisdom.
Say that again?
Without the certificates, you do have a lot of experience of your own. That you help people through. Right, I gotta head off. I have something to eat for lunch. We're done now. Can you say thank you and bye? Bye.
Bye, Bodhi.
We'll speak soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I've appreciated all that you've said. And I will post something about you, and we'll talk more about that side of it. But I've appreciated the conversation. I'm so glad we got to talk art today. It was so nice. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your time with me and your baby.
You're welcome. Lolly. Lolly. Wow. Yeah. Talk to you soon. Bye. Bye. Bye.